Sports are one of the greatest things on this earth. There's so many life lessons that are taught through sports that help you grow into a talented and well-respected individual. Sports is a game of leadership. In order to be successful in the sports industry as a coach, player, or manager, you must have great leadership skills. Through my time growing up in sports and as a fan of multiple types of sports throughout my whole life, I've noticed with age how important leadership is and how to identify a strong leading individual. It's very easy to notice someone's leadership skills by the way they communicate with others, the way they act around others, and the way that they're effectively able to reach the end destination of the goal quickly and efficiently. There are so many great, successful, and historical leaders in the sporting profession. Out of all the players, coaches, and GMs that are in the Hall of Fame, they are most likely incredible leaders, or else they probably would not be in the Hall of Fame without having that leadership skill to achieve the success that they had to have to get there. But whenever I think about a prominent leader in sports, a figure growing up, the one that instantly jumps to my mind is Kobe Bryant, and it's really just not even that close. I've always been a fan of Kobe Bryant, and it's been really cool to watch him, I guess, grow as a player to a leader from his career, from whenever I started watching basketball to when he retired a couple years ago. So to start out on Kobe Bryant, Bryant was born in 1978 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Kobe Bryant spent his younger youth years growing up in Italy, where his father was a professional basketball player. Kobe Bryant actually states that this helped him out growing up and helped him form a base of leadership. So he was able to bring that over with him to the United States, where he attended Lower Merion Prep High School. It was here that he dominated basketball and completely took the high school basketball scene by storm. And that's really when the rise of Kobe Bryant started to happen. Bryant received multiple Player of the Year awards in high school, and he even broke Wilt Chamberlain's scoring record. Bryant actually ended up scoring 2,883 points. Kobe Bryant was so talented out of high school, he actually went straight to the NBA draft and four-went college. That's actually illegal today, but Kobe Bryant was good enough to do it back when it was legal. So that brings us to draft night, where Kobe Bryant was originally drafted by Charlotte Hornets, but was immediately traded to the Lakers. Charlotte's probably still kicking themselves about that today. That's probably one of the biggest trades in NBA history that shaped the league. Bryant used that as, I guess, motivation to embrace his leadership skills and to lead his team, the Lakers, for the next decade to come to multiple titles and multiple MVPs. So in the league, Bryant quickly established himself as a star. He was selected as an All-Star in his second year in the season, which is actually pretty unheard of. Kobe Bryant enjoyed many accomplishments in the NBA. By the time he was just 23 years old, he had already won 3 championships with the Lakers, manned by him and then his other sidekick, Shaquille O'Neal, who was actually probably the most dominant basketball player during that time period. Bryant, like I said, he enjoyed extreme success in the NBA. He led the league in scoring in 2006 and the 2007 season, and that also happened to be the year that Kobe Bryant scored 81 historical points against the Raptors, which I believe is the second most all-time points behind Wilt Chamberlain. I think, yeah, something like that, but crazy. Kobe Bryant's Lakers actually they lost the finals that year, which was a pretty big upset. However, Kobe Bryant did not let that stop him. He used his leadership skills to get his team back to the championship, not only the year after that, but then the year after that as well. His team actually ended up going back-to-back championships. They won them both, and then Kobe Bryant actually ended up winning 2 finals MVPs. In those 2 years, he really put the team on his back, did everything he had to do in order to get that win for the team. Kobe Bryant, to me, I guess to most people, he's probably top 10 basketball player of all time. To me, he's probably the best shooting guard of all time, even though it's debatable. But he's no doubt, hands down, one of the best basketball talents of all time that we've ever seen. Kobe Bryant's a first ballot Hall of Famer, which is a huge achievement in itself. But in order to do that, you have to achieve other things, and Kobe Bryant did just that. He achieved so many things in the NBA, had so many accomplishments, so many great statistics and awards. But to me, his greatest accomplishment is probably winning those back-to-back championships in 2009, 2010. And I guess winning back-to-back MVPs as well. It takes a lot to bounce back from losing a championship, as that normally takes a lot out of a person and a team. But Kobe did not let that happen. got right back up as a leader would do, and really showed his team what it was like to battle through adversity and lead and get back to the point where they knew they needed to be. Kobe Bryant's back-to-back Finals MVPs is actually an accomplishment that nobody has done since Michael Jordan in the 90s. Bryant basically won those championships with little to no help, and he had to rely on his leadership ability to get people to buy in to what he was saying in his game. Like all players, Kobe Bryant had strengths and weaknesses. One of his greatest strengths was determination. Kobe Bryant is probably one of the most determined NBA players ever is. The man was so hard-headed. He was almost hard to coach at some point, some coaches would say. Kobe Bryant would simply not quit until he had nothing left in him to give. He was a perfectionist, and he was determined to lead others to success as well as himself. He really wanted to get people to buy in and really wanted people to, follow off of what he was doing. Bryant will also tell you that one of his greatest strengths as a leader is being a tremendous listener. Bryant's quoted to say, "In order to be a great leader, you must be a really great listener, but not to what is being said, but to what is not being said." Bryant learned throughout his career that it is beneficial to listen to others and to always being focused on, or not always be focused on yourself. Bryant also had his weaknesses, though. Early on in his career, Bryant struggled with delegation. Coming into the league, Bryant was a pure scorer, and that was about it. That's really all he needed to be personally successful and to get his personal accolades, which is what he was focused on whenever he first came in the league. He has not always been this team player, leader kind of guy. When he first came in the league, Bryant was a very ball-heavy guard who would shoot the ball the majority of the time. He'd take probably close to 50% of the team's shots each game, which typically isn't a good thing or typically does not lead to success in the NBA. Bryant had a problem delegating shots and responsibility to others on his team. He really wanted to do everything by himself. He thought he was the best player on the floor, as he was, but as you would learn, it takes more than just yourself to win championships. And Bryant figured that out as well. This also, him being hesitant to delegate and do everything by himself, also could have led to his career-ending injury in 2013. Just from simply wear and tear and really just all the years of doing everything every game. Kobe Bryant was successful for a number of reasons, one of them being his pure determination. He was determined to be the best player he could be, and by the end of his career, he was focused on being the best team player that he could be. He transitioned from wanting to be the best scorer in the game to wanting to be the best team player in the game, which is a huge transition for a player like Kobe Bryant, who's used to doing everything by himself. But Kobe Bryant realized that in order to be successful in the league and as a player, as a person, that you can't do everything by yourself as a leader. You have to delegate other portions so you can focus on the task at hand. Bryant was also an incredible listener. He would listen to all these philosophers talk about their leadership theories and knowledge, and he would implement them into his personal game and mentality, which is also today known as the Mamba mentality. That's really what Kobe Bryant was all about. He had this mentality of being the best and getting things done, and it was very apparent. So there's so many great leaders in sports history, and it was really hard to choose just one player to talk about. But whenever I saw this prompt, Kobe Bryant was, to me, the most influential and one of the biggest name brands in sports. And he was also a great leader at the same time. His work ethic, career statistics, accomplishment, and leadership skills are second to none, and it really does show in his career resume.